So hopefully I got the right key here. All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. I love technology. I think we're streaming, coming to you live, Brew Crew and world. We are down in South Florida. I got I got the itch to drive south today. I got a new toy. I got some new streaming. Thank you, Shelly. New streaming. I got a new streaming everything, not just software. It's everything. Antennas, cellular, bonding. Oh my God. So I'm going to test it out. But there are going to be some storms in South Florida today. I might head out a little bit on the Keys there. Had a couple days. I got new internet coming to the house tomorrow, so I was worried about my live today at home anyways, maybe tomorrow. So we're going to do it mobilely like we normally do. So we usually, when I'm storm chasing, we do it mobilely in the truck like this, which works out just fine. I just can't read comments. Okay. So good morning, everybody. No politics, of course, weather only. We're going to talk about Rafael and maybe whatever else could be coming down the road. Um, Show you all the latest graphs and models and charts and um, kind of keep everybody up to date on that. The satellite here, let me leave it up here as we let everybody check in. It's a crazy close. Like, this is making run at major hurricane. Okay, this is unbelievable. It's November 6th, and we're talking about a possible major hurricane down there just south of Cuba. And you see how close that is to where I'm at here in Florida? I mean, that is unbelievable that this could be that close, but yet so far. Um, Steering currents have helped with that northwest zigzag motion into the Gulf of Mexico. So we're gonna talk about all that. So a couple things coming up this Saturday. The Badass Beer Fest, Tampa Bay Brewing Company. I'll be there. It starts around noon or one. Just Google it. In Oldsmar, my hometown, and we got our big neighbors helping neighbors end of season benefit coming up here in Oldsmar, November 30th. Stay tuned for that. Got some great sponsors. I've been mentioning them. We're gonna have a flyer. Publix just came on board, and they're gonna be donating a nice basket that's gonna be included in the huge raffle. So exciting stuff coming November 30th. Make sure you plan that date if you live in the South and can make it. I would love to have you hang out with us 5 to 8 with a party afterwards. So details soon on that. All right, we're gonna keep this short and sweet because I got to drive and I can't read comments. But we're going to talk about Rafael. There you go. Look at that, man. Unbelievable. Starting to get an eye, clear eye developing now just south of Cuba. Unbelievable. Hurricane hunters are not going to be able to fly out there much longer because they can't fly over Cuba. So they're probably going to take a break here as this thing exits out onto the other side. All right. It's like the doors, right? Break on through to the other side. Um, and we're pushing the stream. I'm gonna storm chase with about a 5,000 K down upload today. So we're gonna be rocking. So again, once I get that button hit, probably around noontime, we're gonna be continuously streaming today. So you might see a nice trip across Keys. If you're bored, tune me in. We're gonna be driving, and we'll be in South Florida. Okay, testing some new stuff here in the old Storm Chaser. Here's the latest satellite or Hurricane Hunter data. They were heading back home, but look at that pressure drop: 967, 66, 65. This thing's crazy low pressure, man. 960 pressure is low. Like I said, they'll probably back out there as soon as it crosses Cuba. Intensity models had really picked up. This has been the storm that models have been every which way but loose here. Just a couple of runs ago, we didn't have any showing category 2. Now we got a bunch showing category 3. So doing some crazy things out there. Current track here from National Hurricane Center showing tropical storm warnings in the Keys. That's it, really. It's going to shoot off to the middle part of the middle Gulf. And guess what? We might not get much impact at all for the upper Gulf Coast, okay? We got a high pressure building in. This has always been happening, but the blocking is something the Euro was showing. Okay, I made a joke about the Euro, so I officially apologize to the Euro. Please forgive me. You were right with steering, kind of right. Maybe not 100%, but you were better than I made it sound like. You got the intensity wrong, like usual, but please forgive me, Euro. It kind of picked up on this big west trend. We'll see where this thing ultimately goes. But what every model's showing is this thing weakening once it gets into the middle Gulf. So if it does reach the upper Gulf Coast, likelihood would be a tropical storm. Could be 60, 70 mile an hour winds. Okay, that's what it was showing yesterday. But look, man, it's really slowing down. That usually shows no steering currents. So we got a very slow movement here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It didn't know where to go. It's going to sit out here almost for 24 hours, but that's good because that's going to soak up that water, cool water, helps weaken the system, and there's wind shear coming from that big high pressure to the north. So it's got hostile environment, but again, it'll be a storm. Can't turn your back on it on the upper Gulf Coast. Still, and that's logically where these things end up going, but that's where we're at. Okay, a little bit more trend to the west. Keys are probably the only folks that are going to feel the biggest impacts as it skirts on by. Um, Here's the timing. Can start to see tropical storm force winds anywhere in this area here. And I notice part of Florida's covered. That's because we could still see an isolated squall line feeder band. Okay, so coastal parts of Florida throughout the day today to tonight, keep an eye on that radar because some of the radar showing that we can still see some feeder bands making their way up the peninsula a little bit. But mainly South Florida and the Keys are the ones that are going to get the strongest stuff. And again, they have it highlighted up on the northern Gulf. Okay, even if this thing parks right here, we can still see some feeder bands. All right, so just because this doesn't make a direct landfall doesn't mean you might not get impacts. That's why we have tropical storm force winds possible. Notice Thursday and then Friday. That's because our system will be stronger then before it starts to weaken. So that's why we have some of these areas that could still see tropical storm force winds, which means you probably might get a watch tonight, maybe tropical storm watches. We'll see, but I wouldn't be surprised if some parts in the upper Gulf Coast still feel it, even if it doesn't make a direct landfall. Some of the winds officially, you can see the big winds here, man. 100-mile-an-hour plus are just out of the picture. Keys are on the edge here of getting the bigger gusts. And as you farther up you go in the state, less. Okeechobee South, 30, 40 mile an hour wind gusts. So people are honking. Oh, they're cleaning up. I'm at the rest area here. By the way, I'm on Alligator Alley if you're wondering. So heading southbound. Wind gust stop from I-4 northward. All right, there's your wind gust. Here is the Storm Prediction Center, which is pretty important to let everybody know. Green kind of touches Naples a little bit, gets close to Fort Myers, stays a little south, but Naples for sure down into south of Miami there, level number 1. But we got yellow number 2, which is enhanced or slight risk, excuse me, level 2 out of 5. Means we'll probably have a tornado watch issued here. That's because of these feeder bands coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico. Tornadoes in brown. Usually when we have a 5%, we get tornado watches. So we'll watch for that. We'll watch for the watch later. But we get these storms coming in off of the warm waters down there. It's very warm down there still. So we're going to have a lot of fuel. Thing is, right now, I'm looking straight ahead. I got my camera off, can't see it, but we got some really fast moving clouds here rolling in from the southeast. A lot of instability in the air. We have a jet stream with that high pressure. We have this clashing coming up, so we're getting winds from the east. We got feeder bands rolling in from the south. So we got a lot of instability. We got daytime heating today. It's already 87 where I'm at. It's very warm, very muggy. So You add all this up, and we have those potentials for possible tornadoes, and that's why they say that isolated tornado chance possible. And this is where the map. If you're ever confused about the map, it's on my website. Slide number 2: short-lived, not widespread, but isolated intense storms possible. See, surge doesn't look to be a big deal. 1 to 2 feet for the Keys, so we'll keep an eye on that. This thing does a little wiggle, could get a little more than that, but that's official. 1 to 2 feet Keys. Nobody else in South Florida showing any surge. Spaghetti models just came out. Tropical tidbits. There's that big split, man. It's crazy. But look at that. We got them going down south into Mexico, right? I mean, I've never seen nothing like this, but hey, yesterday, every single one had it going up towards Louisiana, right? 12 hours later, every single one has it going down to Mexico. Bottom line, though, wherever it goes, it's going to be weakening. And this is more of a weakening system that gets shoved south. But interesting. Well, we'll see what the 18Z shows. But upper Gulf, east side, Florida, obviously, this is a trend that's been there. Just casually watching the upper Gulf Coast for later weekend impacts right now. Nothing to get stressed out about. It's not going to be a too strong of a storm. Here's GFS. It's trended west. We got some going south. Still got some GFS going north. Latest Euro ensembles here on Weather Nerds, kind of showing you a few going north, a few going south. But bottom line, you can look at the colors here. This is very strong yellow, and then we get into blue, which is very weak. So that weakening trend is upon us. Uh, then this. We're going to show individual models. Okay, no, this came out yesterday. I didn't even share it because it starts panic. But they highlight, not counting what we're looking at now, they highlighted the week of November 13th to 19th and the week of 20th through 26th, like Thanksgiving week. Why? Because basically the water is so dang hot, man. The ocean heat content. We have the MJO phase going to be sticking around. So yes, we could still have something else to watch, believe it or not. And that affects so many people because we have people in the Caribbean that watches, we have people that cruise that watches. But I just wanted to point this out so when we run the individual models, you see what I'm talking about. And that leads me to this. This is the other area that's popping in the picture here. We might start seeing here tomorrow, maybe. Low pressure coming around that same high pressure that is going to be coming around and possibly affecting lower Bahamas, Turks, Caicos, maybe coming across Bahamas, maybe bringing some juice to Florida. Okay, so it's that 30% chance to develop. This is what I want to watch when we look at the models now. We're going to keep an eye on this new system that could be coming across. Okay. Are you exhausted like I am? Oh my God. So here's the latest high resolution models on tropical tidbits. I wanted mainly to show you this to show you the feeder bands we could see into Florida later today. Here's Key West. Shelly, say no. So here's tonight. Look, we're starting to see feeder bands. So these are what we're gonna watch. This is coming in off of Cuba. Um, so we're gonna be watching this close. Okay, we got a lot of instability down there. Here's that secondary blob coming in off of Cuba. It's fairly flat over Cuba right there, so maybe it'll get disrupted, but this is the area that's heading towards the Keys, okay? Even though the system's not going to hit it, that's what we're watching. So we could see some of these feeder bands be trouble later today into tonight. See that right there? So that's kind of what we're watching. Some of these could possibly stretch into lower Florida along the coastline tonight and tomorrow. And then it races on out of here. So this just kind of shows you what we're probably going to see as far as some feeder bands. Here is the halves A later today into tonight. You can see the Keys. You can see them coming up. Sometimes they reach as a system passes and we started getting the tail ends of these feeder bands. So that's why the Keys are going to be watching this later today and tonight with that. So that's all I wanted to show you on that because these really don't even go out that far. But in the rest of Florida, it's going to be really close. Here's another model showing you later tonight. Some of these could be strong. Here's the core and here's the Keys. So let's, what we'll be watching for there. Other models now, let's take a look at the whole system here. Let me get out of this one. So we're going to look at that new spot real quick. Let's show you the latest models here on Tropical Tidbits. Because yes, it keeps showing up. And here's where we're looking at this general area coming by the Cuba or Bahamas. Here's that slow getting kicked out around this high. This is Rafael. Now watch this little bubble here, and this is kind of what's been showing up. Nothing too organized, but the fact is it's following that same path. We get a frontal line, then it might get lifted up, I mean in Bahamas and maybe even Florida. So there's that. This would be Saturday, okay, if it was to become anything. 00Z run 1006, not showing anything too strong, but we're getting another little energy down here, so could bring some rain to South Florida first part of the week, next week. So there's the last couple GFS. This is a new spot. Let's look at the Canadian. There's the Canadian 1005, showing you that there's a low pressure area. This goes into Sunday, fizzles out a little bit. And there's a front line coming in. So yeah, it's interesting, right? Definitely. There's the 12Z yesterday for Saturday. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to watch this thing possibly. It's not the first time it's been shown on models, that's for sure. This is Rafael. This is a new spot. We do have a front line coming down. Eventually, you would think it would make its way down. Here's the front coming down. It would lift whatever upwards and get merged with it and pull on out of here. But so our next big front might affect it. This would be Sunday, Monday, next week. Interesting. Euro AI. Here we go. Very weak low pressure and doesn't really develop it. The Euro AI didn't do very good at all detecting this system. It did terrible. But there's our little bump. At this point, we're just looking at the idea, not so much intensity right now. We're just looking at the idea there's a low pressure tomorrow, and it might come across. So it's going to follow the same basic tracks. The icon, there's our little bump, and it comes across, starts to get a little low pressure by the Turks and Caicos on the weekend. Doesn't really do much with it. So there is something to watch, man. I'm sorry, I'm just being real. Oh, the KMA. Everybody asked me about that KMA, but it was pretty much the only one showing Rafael becoming what it is, a potential major hurricane. So that's why the KMA is a really good model that sniffs out formation. So everybody's showing this little low. So let's go to the KMA. First, I want to show you this one because I already have it open. This is 24-hour rain maps. So today, I want to show you this real quick. This is flooding maps for today. We got some heavy rains stalling out across the southeast here, not associated with um, Rafael. Here's what the 24-hour rains are going to look like today. Look at that. Look at that bubbling rains, man. Just this is through tomorrow. Lots of rain possibly, man. I don't know where it's all coming from, but it's definitely funneling around that high pressure that's spinning that way with a kind of a weak frontal line. But look at that, 4, 5, 6 inches in Georgia, South Carolina there, and then it kind of, obviously disappears into Friday. So heavy rain today and tomorrow, and then here's our rain bubble. But look at that. Everybody worried about college football. Other than this front line coming down Saturday, it all depends on where that thing goes. But this is rainfall through Sunday. This is Sunday rainfall. Sunday right there. Sunday. Here's Saturday rainfall. Saturday. So there's Saturday rains and Sunday rains. And here's Friday rains. There you go. Let's look at that KMA real quick because it's become one of my new favorite models. Started using it last year. Seems like it's really good at sniffing systems out. Oops, I got to get out of here and go back to, oh my goodness gracious. All right, model. So again, I'll be streaming live, everybody, later. I'm testing a new setup I got. Don't know when we'll hit the button and go live, but and it keeps it weak that run. There it is right here. See it? So I didn't do anything too crazy with it. Yesterday's 12Z kind of did a little more. Didn't do much with it, so that's good. So nothing yet to get stressed about, other than maybe a rainmaker down to Turks and Caicos, and that could definitely mess up your cruising. Let's look at some seas for forecasts here down that way, because I know there's people that are be traveling on cruising here. So let's take a look at the wave maps. And there you go, as expected, lots of high seas tomorrow as this thing comes across. This is the Gulf seas, very high seas in the Gulf of Mexico, obviously. 50-foot plus. But there you go. So that doesn't really show any. Well, the Euro's not showing any development, but you can see tomorrow and Friday it'll be choppy. We got a strong high pressure system coming across, so regardless, um, it'll be had strong winds east to west out ahead of this little guy right here, which is pretty dang impressive looking. Look at these seas on the Euro. That's crazy. This is Friday morning, 57-foot seas on the Euro, even though it's not even hardly developing in it. Anybody traveling Friday, you better hope that they go around these high seas because it would be drama team time. And here's seas on Saturday. So there you go. All right, well, I covered it all in a nutshell. I think no chat today. Um, just keep your internet on later. We'll be streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. I'll be down south trying my new stream out. And wish me luck on that. But hopefully, you got some good information. We'll be live tomorrow doing the same thing. And then Friday, we'll be back home in the studio, hopefully with new internet. And then we'll be set for the weekend. All right. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits for sponsoring our daily brew and all our other great supporters. Furman being a big sponsor at our year-end benefit, November 30th, giving away a bunch of generators. And anybody else who would like to help out, please do. Mike's Weather Page at gmail.com. We're even looking for a few cash sponsors to cover portalets and tables and that kind of stuff. All the proceeds are going to go to a charity, and more than likely the Florida Disaster Relief Fund that the state of Florida has set up. So very proud to be working on that, giving back hopefully a big check to relief